Arianna Pappas is a singer-songwriter based in Nashville. She won the American Songwriter Autumn Leaves promo contest with a song called Seasons, which will be released soon. She also dropped three singles, Every Mile, Space, and Daddy's Dime. Ariana played venues including the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. Ariana, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Amanda. I'm so excited.
Me too. Congratulations on winning the American Songwriter contest. What was your reaction when you found out you won?
I was just so floored. I have been reading American Songwriter for many years now. I receive their newsletters weekly. They actually send them out quite a few times during the week. And I love all their articles. And it's just a huge honor for my co-writers and I to receive that kind of accolade because they feature so many talented songwriters. And yes, just to be recognized was so cool.
Love it. So you won with the song Seasons. What was the inspiration behind it?
Seasons I wrote when I was still in college, actually. I moved to Nashville in 2020, September of 2020, which I would not recommend trying to move to a different state during a pandemic in college, but it was a wild ride. And my senior year, I took an audio production class, and we were given a writing prompt to a track, and this was kind of the first time I had ever top-lined over a song, over an instrumental. Top-lining is when you write the melody and the lyrics over a pre-existing track, and I just was excited for the challenge because I really enjoyed learning so much about songwriting during my time at school. I majored in songwriting at Belmont University here in Nashville, Tennessee. And in this audio production class, I was given this track, and I was just really inspired by how dreamy and kind of nostalgic that it felt. And I decided to write a breakup ballad to it. And I wrote it, finished it in that class, or at least I thought I was finished. I went back and I realized that some tweaks had to be made. So I got together with two of my friends, Julia Mori and Joe Wandas, about a year later. And we ended up finishing it, and I decided to enter it into the Autumn Leaves promo through American Songwriter magazine. And I had no idea that we would win. Of course, it took me totally by surprise, but I was really grateful because it was such a blast finishing it with them, and I'm grateful for opportunities like that to try something new.
So I want to talk about a song that's out now, Daddy's Dime. It's so fun. What is the inspiration behind that one?
That is a song that I was inspired to write by just in general, the way that not all rich people, not all people who have money, but the ones who are inspired to flaunt it and kind of brag about it in conversations that they have with people. I just think it's incredibly rude. And some people that I've come across just really put a bad taste in my mouth. And I decided, you know what? This is yet another roast song that I will have the opportunity to write.
What something I really think is the unique part about music is the collaboration process. So you've done that a couple times, if it was, the co-writing Seasons, or you being featured in the J4 track, Beautiful Lies. I want to talk about Every Mile though, because that one was really cool. What was it like working on that track?
Well, thank you. That one was super fun. I wrote that with my friend Megan Irby. She's a poet here in Nashville. And it's really cool getting to work with people like her because they have such a different perspective on the English language. And I decided I wanted to write a fun love song about two young people just not knowing what's going to come next, but kind of just jumping into whatever that is. And I am really proud of it. I mean, we actually wrote it over Zoom back in 2021, and I'm really grateful for the traction that it's received. It's got over 25,000 streams right now on Spotify. Woo! So that one has just been a joy to market and share with people. And thank you for listening. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and the producer that I worked with on that as well is incredibly talented. His name's Robbie Archers. He's a producer here in Nashville, and yeah, just overall a really great process.
What was the production process like for that, especially working virtually?
My friend Megan and I that I wrote the song with, she and I wrote the song over Zoom, but then production was actually in person. So I worked on that one with Robbie in 2022. So it was about a year and a half later that we produced it, and from the time of writing it. And I went to his studio here in Nashville, right on Music Row, and we mapped out the plan, everything we wanted to do. He has people that he goes to record, musicians. And we actually recorded it out in Gallatin, Tennessee, which is about 45 minutes from Nashville. And the musicians on this track they're so incredibly talented. I'm really grateful that I got to work with them, because getting to see the scope of talent here in Nashville, the musicians that I've met, it's just unmatched. So we recorded the band out there at his studio, and then we went back to his studio on Music Row to mix and master it. And he has a great guy in upstate New York, John Niclario, who mastered it. So overall, just such an incredible experience.
That's amazing. So I've been seeing on Instagram you've been exploring Nashville, doing a lot of live performances. And one venue I thought was really cool was the Bluebird Cafe. How was that?
That was amazing. I got to perform my debut single Space there. And the venue is just such an iconic spot. You know, you've got people like Reba and Carrie Underwood and Taylor Swift who have stepped foot in the Bluebird, and I love every chance I get to go there. I've seen a few shows there by incredible songwriters, and the history is amazing. I mean, it's been there for decades. So just any chance I can get to go there is truly a gift.
That's amazing. So what do you enjoy about playing live?
The feeling of playing live is like no other. It's really cool to get to share new songs with people, especially my friends here in Nashville. I actually just played at Live Oak back, I think it was last Thursday, and it was a blast. I mean, I was invited out by two good friends that are also at Belmont right now, and I love that venue especially. That's another one you have to go to, Live Oak on Demumbrian. It's just a great place to connect with new people and hear great songs. And that's also another venue that I go to a lot to either play or just attend shows that my friends are playing. And yeah, I mean, I played, let's see, I have this fishing song that I wrote last year that I ended up playing. It's called Hook, Line, and Sinker. And that was super fun. That got a great response. And that's a central hub for where people go to hear new country music or just new music in general. Obviously, Nashville is such a melting pot of music now, as well as people from all over the world. So yeah, I play a lot of rounds. I play acoustic sets here and there. I'm starting to book more of those, and very excited. I love bringing out new material and sharing what I've written with my friends.
Beautiful. Who are some of your music influences?
So that is a broad question. I grew up with a lot of classic rock and roll. So that kind of made its way into even what I'm doing now, as well as a lot of blues. I heard a lot of that as a kid. And it was the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Billy Joel, Pat Benatar. Heard a little bit of Joan Jett growing up, and my parents are fans of Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Grateful Dead. That's a huge one. And just hearing the amazing songwriting, it influenced me as a child to later start listening to pop radio. And I realized the songwriting for even those songs. I mean, I feel like a lot of people consider those songs to be a little bit too simplistic when it comes to songwriting, but the melodies that are crafted for those songs, I mean, there's a reason they're hits, whether it's catchy or the lyrics evoke a certain type of emotion. There was a lot of Kelly Clarkson and Katy Perry and even Lady Gaga where I was hearing those melodies, and I didn't realize that subconsciously it was giving me a crash course in how to write songs. And later on, I discovered artists like Carrie Underwood, Miranda Lambert, and I really loved, well, with Miranda, the grittiness of her writing, and I just love her sound. She's got such a fearless way of sharing her emotions and experiences, and such a huge fan of her, and as well as Carrie Underwood. I mean, she's a legend. She has so many iconic songs, and her vocals are pristine, obviously, and I loved the stories they told. And so it really went from classic rock and roll to pop and pop rock, and then into country that I found later. And now I would say I'm kind of in that pop country space, but this next single that I won the American Songwriter magazine promo with, it's got a quartet on it. So I'm not exactly sure what you would call it, what style, but I guess listeners will determine when it comes the time. But I'm very influenced by all of those genres and styles that I grew up with and that I'm influenced by now. And now I listen to a lot of independent artists as well. And I learn something every day with every new artist or song that I listen to.
Nice. So where can people find you?
You can find me at Arianna Pappas Music on Instagram and pretty much everywhere, all socials. I'm Arianna Pappas 27 on X, but it's 2 N's, 2 P's. So I post videos all the time, and I have 3 singles out on all streaming platforms. So check those out. Daddy's Dime, Every Mile in Space, and Seasons is coming to you within the next month and a half or so. So I'm super excited about that. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ariana. As Ariana just mentioned, go check out her singles, and I'm excited to hear Seasons when it dropped. And yeah, thanks again for being here.
Thanks again so much, Amanda and Met Radio. This was super fun, and go check out my new single with my friend J4 as well. We wrote it together, and I did background vocals, and it's called Beautiful Lies. So check it out, and I also have upcoming show dates on my Instagram and my website, ariannapapasmusic.com.